But I'm gonna start us off in the kitchen with my delicious recipe for citrus and herb shrimp salad. How does that sound? Yeah. I'm really excited about this recipe because it reminds you that somewhere the sun is out. It's not sleety, snowy muck outside. It's gonna be bright and tasty and wonderful. So the first thing I wanna do is get to work on a really bright and punchy marinade. Since I'm marinating shrimp, this is like a really quick dinner. It only takes 20 minutes-ish to marinate. You can even do it less time, but it's super, super fast. So we wanna get a ton of flavor. That's why I'm using a blender for this marinade. That's gonna bust everything up, make it get into that shrimp quickly, and you're gonna be good to go. So the first thing I'm gonna add into there is just half of a shallot. Now, if you don't have a shallot, you could do this with green onion. That would be perfect as well. But I want like a softer onion flavor. So for me, shallot is the way to go. So I'm gonna use half of that. Just roughly chop that up to give the blender a bit of a hand. I always tell you, I'm a friend to robots. Just remember that, robot. So I'm giving you a hand. All right. Adding in that shallot, and then we're gonna go in with our herbs. So the first thing I want is some cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, again, you could take this out, you could do this with basil, that would be really nice, but I love that punchy flavor of cilantro. So I want about half a cup of that, loose measurements, just a little bit of a twist and a rip. So that's about a little handful, going right on in with that. And then I'm going in with about half as much mint, so about a quarter cup of mint. Now, since this is a marinade, I'm just gonna pull this off. Typically what I would do is just pick those leaves, because the stem on mint can be a little bit tough, but we're putting it in a blender, so it's gonna be fine. So that's going into immediately. This smells like a garden. It smells like, oh my gosh, I could just live in this blender right now. Very excited about that. That's gonna be wonderful. So into there, we're gonna add even more brightness. For that, I'm adding in the zest and juice of a lime and an orange. Lime and orange go really, really nicely together. The orange brings a really nice kind of sweetness, that sweet kind of acidity. The lime brings a little bit of bitterness. I find lime zest has this almost like pithy bitterness, almost grapefruity territory, but still in a really bright, punchy way, because lime juice is really, really acidic. So adding in the zest, being careful not to get any of that pith so we don't make it too bitter. And then in goes the orange zest. Now, orange zest is a delight, honestly. If you're not eating this stuff, mix it into sugar, put it in your next batch of sugar cookies if you're feeling to do that. It's so good. I love orange zest. It's really, really great. Now, anytime I am zesting any sort of citrus fruit, I like to do it over the mixture or the bowl that I'm putting it into. Because I find if you don't do that, you're just flavoring up your cutting board, which arguably you're never gonna eat. Like, you're never gonna eat this. So you're just giving all that beautiful orange oil and that lime oil right into that board. We don't want that. If you do it in this, it shoots into that blender and you are good to go. So now I'm gonna add in the juice of both as well. Both of these citrus fruits are very nice and seedless, which is a delight, so we can just squeeze that right on in. Ugh. All right, adding in that lime juice. And since lime juice is really, really acidic, this is almost gonna, not cure the shrimp, but it is gonna be a really quick marinade. If I were to leave the shrimp in this marinade for longer because of how punchy that lime is, it would tend to kind of start cevicheing it almost and curing it. We don't want that, we just want this marinated. All right, so that is looking wonderful. Now into there, we're going in with a couple cloves of garlic. I'm just tossing them in whole because why not? We helped the blender with the shallot. We're just gonna go in whole with the garlic. And then for a little bit of smokiness, just about 1 teaspoon of cumin. Cumin is one of my favorite things in the pantry. It's got a real smoky, almost citrusy flavor to it. I add it to pretty much everything. Anytime I'm roasting vegetables, pop it in that. Really good with shrimp as well. Then I'm also gonna add in half a teaspoon of chili powder. That's not spicy. It's gonna give, again, a little more smokiness. Gonna make it taste like I cooked these shrimp on the grill. Again, reminding you that summer is coming. It's gonna be there. All right, perfect. Now I'm going in with some salt, little bit of pepper as well. And then just to get everything moving around, I'm going in with some oil. Now, oil definitely helps give this a little bit of liquidity, but it also is going to help enhance the flavors. Oil and fat are real like carriers of flavor, so it's gonna help it carry it around to get on those shrimp. Now, you only need about a tablespoon or 2 in this mixture, just until it's nice and kind of liquidy. So I'm gonna add that in, pop the lid on. You could also do this in a smoothie blender and give it a bit of a blitz. All right, I'm gonna tell you right now, we need more oil, because she is not blitzing. Basically, oil until it looks sloppy, which is what we're looking for. All right, so lid off. Let's turn her on. Ooh. Ooh, she's making a mess. Okay. Clearly I am very good at blending things. Okay, fantastic. That was exciting, what a thrill. Good thing I'm not wearing white today. Okay, perfect. That marinade is looking fantastic. It's still a little bit chunky, but it's got a ton of flavor. It smells out of control and amazing. So I'm just gonna transfer this marinade right on into a large bowl. Now, this would be delicious on chicken. It would be delicious on really any sort of fish, but I love shrimp. They are super quick cooking. Oftentimes you can get a bag of shrimp on sale at the grocery store too, which is an absolute delight. So I'm gonna add in 400 grams of raw, peeled and deveined shrimp. I've got the ones with the tails on. If you get them with them off, that's totally good as well. I do like the tails though, because you can kind of pick them up and eat them. So I'm gonna go straight into that marinade with all of those shrimp. Give that a toss just to coat. Okay, that is looking fantastic. It smells so bright and delicious. That garlic in there is coming through. Then you wanna set this aside in the fridge for 20 minutes. 20 minutes is gonna be perfect. You're gonna get those flavors into those shrimp. You could do this also for up to an hour, but I wouldn't go past that hour. Then you're gonna start to turn into ceviche-ish territory, but there's not enough lime juice for ceviche, so it's just gonna be weird. So don't do that. Up to an hour is good, but honestly, even right now, if you cooked these up, it would be delicious. 20 minutes though is the sweet spot. So I'm just gonna set those aside. And then we're gonna get to work on a little bit of a salad dressing. So for the salad dressing, this is something I do consistently at home, is I really am into putting shallots or green onion or really any sort of onion into my salad dressing, but so I don't get that really punchy raw onion flavor, I like to almost pickle it down a little with the acidity I'm adding into my vinaigrette. So I've got my shallot here, and I'm just gonna thinly slice, or the other half of that shallot that went into that marinade, thinly slice that up, and I'm gonna pop that right into my bowl. You can also build this dressing straight into the bowl that you're gonna make the salad in, just to save on dishes, but we're not doing that today because I don't feel like it. Then into there, we're going in with a clove of garlic. This is another good way to, again, get that punchy garlic flavor pulled back just a little bit. The acidity is going to just like kind of mellow things out. So I'm gonna just grate that garlic clove in. Since we're grating it, it's gonna be punchy, good garlic flavor, but personally I like a nice and garlicky dressing. Now into there, we're gonna go in with the juice of a lime. If you're worried about your lime being a good lime, give it a roll, you know? You could also stick it in a microwave, but I feel like just roll it. I know some people do that, I don't know. You do you, give it a go. It's not co-signed by Mary Berg, because I don't have a microwave, so I don't know. All right, I'm gonna cut that lime in half, add in the juice of that, oh, that's a nice lime. You know when you get a really juicy lime? Oh, you feel like you won. You're like, this is gonna be a good day today. All right, add in that juice. Again, that's gonna start to pickle that shallot and that garlic, but just for a little bit more acidity and a bit more roundness. I'm also gonna go in with a tablespoon or two of some apple cider vinegar. That's gonna bring everything together nicely. Now just set that aside, let it do its thing for about a minute. While that does its thing, I'm gonna get these shrimp into a pan. I have got my pan here over medium-high heat, nice and hot. So I'm gonna go in with a little glug of oil, just to get that a little bit coated. But again, there is oil in that marinade, so we don't need too much. Give it a little bit of a zhuzh. Then I'm going in with that shrimp. These are only gonna need maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3. We're gonna cook those up until they are nice and pink and plump. These smell so good. I know, I cannot. It is taking every ounce of my self-control not to eat all of these shrimp right now. But I'm a professional and I can do it. All right, now I'm gonna get to work on finishing up that salad dressing just to bring everything together. Now again, these shrimp as is served like this, if you're having guests over, oh my gosh, no one's complaining. But to make it into a meal, we can make this into a really nice big salad. So before the break as well, I put half a shallot that I sliced and a clove of garlic into some lime juice and some vinegar, apple cider vinegar. If you can see, the color of the shallot's pulled back a little. It's a little more pink now. So it's just softening the flavor. It's curing it and almost pickling it down. So it's not gonna be as punchy and as oniony. That garlic as well is gonna be a little softer in flavor and just kind of go throughout the whole salad dressing. So to finish this off, I'm going in with a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard is gonna give a little peppery kick, but it's also gonna help emulsify everything together. Because obviously something liquidy like vinegar and lime juice does not wanna be friends with oil. They're not best friends, they don't want it. The mustard is the play date planner. Like we're figuring it out. It's gonna bring everyone together, we're all gonna be friends, it's gonna be fantastic. So it also adds flavor, obviously, so it is a very good thing. So I'm gonna give that a little whisk to combine. And then to kind of mimic the flavors that are going on in those shrimp, I'm also gonna add in a little bit of cumin. If you want, you could also add in some of that chili powder, but about half a teaspoon or maybe even a quarter teaspoon of this cumin will just, again, give a little bit of a smoky, little bit of a lemoniness into there. So just add that right on top. Season that up with some salt, a little bit of pepper as well. And then we just need to go in with our oil. I'm using olive oil here. As we saw before, this is being slow today, so we're just gonna take the lid off. You want anywhere from like 4 to 5 tablespoons for this amount of vinegar or acid. So I'm just gonna slowly add that in. Since we added in that Dijon mustard though, it's not gonna be a pain getting this together. It's gonna emulsify beautifully. So just add that in until it tastes right to you. I like a really punchy, citrusy and vinegary vinaigrette. It's in the name, so why not do it vinegary? But it looks beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, the lime juice, ooh, that's delicious. The Dijon, what a delight. A little garlicky, super tasty. Okay, that dressing is done. So now to bring everything together, I have got a boatload of romaine. You can use any sort of lettuce you want, but I'm not gonna lie, I love a romaine. I also really am into iceberg right now. And I know it had a bit of a moment where it wasn't cool, but iceberg is so crispy. I like a crunchy lettuce sometimes. So I've got this looking beautiful. I'm gonna add that right on into my serving bowl. And I've shredded mine. If you want, you could rip it big, you could do whatever you'd like, but I'm gonna give this a toss. Now, if you've got too much lettuce to add into your serving bowl, you can always toss some first, then add more and toss it again. That'll kind of bring everything together. So I'm gonna go on with some of that dressing. I'm gonna go on with all of the dressing. But you dress to your heart's content, but I like a really kind of saucy salad. But you can see that beautiful pickled shallot in there as well. Just give it a nice toss together. And then to garnish this up, I'm gonna go in with some other bright, summery kind of flavors. We've got some orange pieces here that I've just sliced. You could segment them, you could do whatever you'd like. That's gonna bring, again, juiciness, beautiful flavor into there. Then we're gonna go on with some avocado, everyone's favorite fruit, right? No extra charge here, we just got the avocado. So I'm just gonna add that right on. We've got some that's nice and sliced, but you can do whatever you want. If you just wanna chunk it, that works beautifully as well. We were saying that this looks like the most California, like fancy avocado plate. It looks so like LA, fancy. And then I'm gonna go on with those shrimp. All we need is those shrimp. I like them warm on the salad, but you could chill these too, make them in advance. You've got all that juiciness as well, looking absolutely beautiful. If you want, you could always toss this together, but I like arranging it kind of like this. Some of those fresh, beautiful herbs right on top as well. Oh my gosh, I'm very excited about this. Okay. I can't resist, so I'm gonna eat a shrimp right now. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.